Welcome back to NGLAB Pro. I'm Mo. Here we're going over the fourth and the last type of questions for Task 2 IELTS Writing in order to get band score 6 in the exam. Here I will show you how the question is formed and how we should answer this type of questions. This type of questions is basically called causes and solutions. Some other people call it reasons and actions, and so many other names that they specify to this kind of questions. But we call them causes and solutions for the time being. Let's begin. This type of questions, which as we mentioned earlier, is referred to as causes and solutions, uh, come in this format. Usually we have one premise at the beginning. The premise here is more factual. I mean, it's a fact sentence. And then we have two questions. The questions are usually like this: what are the causes of this, or what can be done about it? You see, the first question asks about the causes, and the second one asks about the solutions. Or you might have these two questions. Why do you think that is, and what problems can this cause? The first one is asking about the causes. The second one is about the effects. But as I mentioned earlier, we normally call them causes and solutions. There might be different kinds of questions here, but we always have two questions in this type of questions. Well, let's take a look at two examples. The first one is this. In many countries, people are eating more and more unhealthy food and taking less exercise. What are the causes of this problem and what can be done about it? Or, in many countries, people are moving away from rural areas towards urban centers. Why do you think that is? What problems can this cause? We are going to write a sample writing for the first one, and then you can try the second one yourself. Let's go over how you should actually organize the paragraphs and how you should approach this task. Let's go ahead. Now let's talk about the way we should put our ideas into paragraphs in this type of writing in order to get 6. Well, again, we have to write 4 paragraphs here. The first paragraph is the introduction. We write 2 body paragraphs and 1 conclusion as usual. In the first paragraph, I mean in the introduction, we should paraphrase the question like always, but this time you need to write blueprints. What do we mean by blueprints? We actually mention in phrases and not usually in full sentences what we are going to discuss. Basically, they are the causes and the solutions that we are going to discuss in the central paragraphs. But we just refer to them in phrases. We just mention that this and this are the causes, and this are the solutions. You will see the actual example later. In the first body paragraph, we answer the first question, and then we just pick the 2 blueprints for the first question. I mean the 2 blueprints which are the answers to the first question, and we'll write them in order in this paragraph. Then we will move on to the next body paragraph. Here we answer the second question. Again, we pick the 2 blueprints that we had on the top, we bring them down, and then in the same order we try to write them and explain them. I mean that we try to expand those 2 reasons or solutions or whatever that we have. And then we will go to the conclusion. In the conclusion, we should write a summary of what you have mentioned in the central paragraphs. So it is, again, a form of repetition of the causes and the effects, or causes and the solutions. By that, I mean we try to repeat the blueprints. We will see an example and you will understand what I mean by that. I will explain them there to you in more details. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the example question that you've already seen, and then we are going to do a brainstorming of the ideas related to this topic. Well, the topic is in many countries, people are eating more and more unhealthy food and taking less exercise. What are the causes of this problem and what can be done about it? Well, let's start with the causes of the problem. I mean, why do you think this happens? Well, the first one can be a busy lifestyle or lack of time. I mean that people work long hours and have no time to cook healthy meals or exercise. And also, fast food is quick, cheap, and convenient these days. So, this is one of the reasons that has caused this obesity in this unhealthy food that people eat. The other one is marketing and availability of junk food. By that, I mean the unhealthy snacks and sugary drinks that are heavily advertised, especially to children. And these products are cheap and available everywhere. The next cause could be a lack of awareness. Lack of awareness, I mean, some people don't understand the long-term health effects of poor diet and inactivity, and education about nutrition and fitness is generally missing in schools. And the fourth one is a sedentary lifestyle and technology. Uh, I mean, by sedentary lifestyle, I mean people spend long hours sitting in front of the television, watching it, and using smartphones or working on computers. And also, children play video games instead of outdoor games. These are the causes of this tendency of people toward more unhealthy food and taking less exercise. Now we can talk about the solutions. What can be done to overcome this problem? Well, the first one is public health education. By public health education, we mean that government can run campaigns to teach people about healthy eating habits and active living, for example. Or schools can provide nutrition and physical education in their curriculum. By curriculum, I mean their syllabus. The next one could be healthier food options and regulations. I mean, government can control junk food advertising, especially to children, and also there could be taxes on unhealthy food and maybe subsidies on fruits and vegetables can be useful. The third solution could be urban planning and exercise facilities, for example. Cities can create more parks, bike lanes, public gyms, for example, to encourage physical activity. And the last solution that I can recommend, for example, is workplace and school changes. For example, companies or schools can offer healthier meals and schedule time for physical activity. These are some of the ideas that could be used in order to write about this topic. Now let's take a look at a sample writing for this topic. We're going to go over that paragraph by paragraph. This is the question that we've already mentioned. Let's go through the introduction. In the introduction, as we have already mentioned, we need to paraphrase the question and we need to write the blueprints. Well, let's start. In today's world, many people are developing unhealthy habits, such as eating junk food and avoiding physical activity. Avoiding physical activity is a paraphrase of taking less exercise. This issue is growing in many countries and causing serious health problems. Up to here was the paraphrase of the premise of the question. From here, I'm going to write down the blueprints. The main reasons for this trend are the first blueprint, busy lifestyles, and the second one, too much time spent on technology. So we have two blueprints here. Busy lifestyle is the first one, and the second one is too much time spent on technology. So these are the two causes of this problem. I've just mentioned them. We are going to discuss these two in the first central paragraph. And the next two blueprints are, but it can be tackled, I mean, solutions through education. This is the first blueprint for solution. And better public facilities, the second blueprint. These two are going to be discussed in the second body paragraph. Let's go to the first body paragraph and the causes. Well, one major cause is the busy lifestyle that many people have. You see, busy lifestyle was the first blueprint, and I have started with that. They work long hours and often feel too tired to cook healthy food or go to the gym. As a result, they choose fast food because it is quick and easy. This was the first reason. The second one Another reason is the effect of technology, the second blueprint. Many people spend too much time on their phones or watching TV, which makes them less active. Children especially play video games instead of going outside to play. These have contributed to their unhealthy lifestyle. So again, I have to highlight these. The busy lifestyle was the first one, and the second one was the effect of technology. Let's go to the second body paragraph and the solutions. Well, to solve this problem, governments should increase public awareness through education campaigns. Through education, you can see it here. If people learn about the risks of eating badly and not exercising, they might change their habits. Schools can also help by teaching students about healthy food and giving them more time for sports. In addition, the second one, better public facilities. In addition, cities can build more parks and bike paths to make it easier for people to be active. These actions could encourage a healthier lifestyle. So again, let me highlight them. We have increased public awareness is the first one, as we had it here, education, through education campaigns. This is the first one. And the second one, we had to have better public facilities. Here it is mentioned the cities can build more parks and paths. So this is more facilities in cities. Now we need to go to the conclusion. In the conclusion, we have, in conclusion, unhealthy eating and lack of exercise are mainly caused by busy lives and too much screen time. These are again the repetition of the blueprints. However, with better education, again, the next blueprint for the solution and support from the government, people can be encouraged to live in a healthier way. That's the way you have to approach this kind of writing. This writing will get something between 6 to 6.5 in the IELTS test. There is an issue that usually we repeat the words that are keywords for us. Well, depending on the question, these words would be different. I mean that in the topic we have one word and then we have to know the synonyms, so you have to work on your vocabulary definitely. But here in this topic, we normally have the word problem. So if we want to repeat the word problem, it's not really beautiful. So maybe instead of this word, you would have these alternatives. You can say this issue instead of this problem, this challenge, this situation, or this trend. So in order to make it more beautiful, in order not to repeat words, you can use synonyms. And in this case, we have the word problem that is repeated so many times in the essay. So maybe these words are helpful in order to avoid repeating the word problem. Here we have some useful expressions that can be used in IELTS writing, especially in this type of questions. Well, in the introduction, you can go for these expressions. For example, in today's world, one of the major problems is that, and then you can paraphrase the question. Or in many countries, people are facing the issue of. And for blueprints, you can use this structure. You can say the main causes are A and B, while the most effective solutions include C and D. Oh, I've written it in this way so that you can actually use two blueprints for the first question and two blueprints for the second question. In the first body paragraph, which is about causes, for example, you can say one of the main causes of this issue is this issue or this problem. Or another contributing factor is means another factor that causes this problem, another issue, another reason that causes this problem. Or you can say a major reason why this happens is that. For the second body paragraph, for the solutions, you can use these expressions. One possible solution would be to, and after that you need a verb. We have to plus a verb. A good way to deal with this problem is, and this issue can be solved if, And for the conclusion, you can say, overall, if the right steps are taken, this issue can be improved or even prevented. I know that this is a cliche that you can use. So you can pick this issue from here and you can actually paraphrase the problem here. I mean, overall, if the right steps are taken, for example, in our case, we had the obesity can be solved, it can be improved or even prevented, or lack of exercise can be improved or even prevented. You see what I mean here? I mean that instead of using this issue, you can use some of the words from the question so that it is not a repetitive memorized sentence. You can also use this one. In conclusion, there are several causes for this issue, but also many ways to solve it. Again, instead of this issue, you can use the actual problem that is in the question. I mean, it is in the premise of the question. As I have already told you many times, be careful not to use memorized sentences, but these are some sample expressions that can help you write better. Finally, let me review what I just told you. First of all, make sure that both questions, I mean both parts of the prompt, whether they are causes and solutions, problems and actions, or any others, are included in your response. Remember that if just one of them is presented, the response will not score higher than band 5 in task response. Be careful with it. The second issue I should mention is the type of question that always includes a plural requirement for one or both of the questions. So remember that do not write one cause or do not write one solution. Always write two causes and two solutions. And finally, it's important to use cohesive devices. What I mean by cohesive devices are the signaling words and phrases to help reader see how the causes and solutions are connected. I presented some of them in the previous slide. So it's helpful to use those expressions, review them a few times, write them down so that you can learn how to use them. Finally, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me in the comments below. I will answer them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching MGlab Pro.